My name's Clint. I'm head of partnerships here at Approach, and I want to share a little bit of information and some of my thoughts on Awaabs law. So let's get started, please. Next slide. For anyone watching, and especially the parents among us, it's heartbreaking to know that Awaab was 2 when he sadly passed away in December 2020. His cause of death was acute oedema with severe granulomatous tracheobronchitis, and that was due to environmental mould exposure. And if we just sit with that for a moment, away from any business desires, any commercial decisions, or any reasons you're on here today to focus on this for your business, Awaab passed away at 2, no future life, parents devastated because of damp and mould, or exasperated because of damp and mould. So this is not just a social housing issue. We must work together. Next slide, please. Landlords are going to be required to investigate and resolve damp and mould hazards within strict guidelines, and it's now the landlord's responsibility to take control of the issue and not set the blame squarely on the shoulders of the resident in some cases, or blaming how they interact with their homes and what their lifestyle looks like, but to make a more balanced decision, taking all environmental conditions into account. And we know that quite rightly, with increased accountability comes enforcement actions, fines, and significant reputational damage for landlords if they fail to comply. But I personally think that's warranted, considering the overall aim is to prevent future deaths. Next slide, please. And there are many reasons why this matters. First and foremost, damp and mould has a direct effect on tenants' health, and it risks respiratory issues if it's left. I believe in Awaab's case, in around July 2020, the home technically was unfit for humans to be in there. Now, normally, adults with an average health, an average immune system can fight off mould spores as part of the normal immune system response, but the elderly and perhaps children aren't able to respond in the same way. So this is important. There's also a big reputational risk of homes that have mould. It could lead to voids, it could lead to devaluation of your dwellings, and there could be enforcement costs, and landlords and agents must ensure they meet the standard. Next slide, please. Now, I wonder what kind of life Awaab might have gone on to have if he'd been given a better chance. So whether your homes are cold, poorly ventilated, or freshly retrofitted to a good EPC rating, there's always a risk of damp and mould. And if not done correctly, retrofit works can worsen or cause condensation and damp in residents' homes, as well as if they haven't been retrofitted. So there's a risk to both. And we should shift the thinking to being together on this, towards considering compliance not as separate silos, but all linked together, ensuring everyone's got the opportunity to live in a healthy and safe, efficient home. Next slide, please. A couple of pictures. I, throughout the week, travelled the length and breadth of the country, and I can't help but look at properties as I'm passing through cities and towns, whether that's driving or on the train. And sometimes I'll look at properties and think, oh, a good solar array would go on top of that roof, or a heat pump would sit nicely alongside that property. But sometimes one of the things you can't escape is how poorly retrofitted some homes are and how that would impact residents. And you can see there along the left-hand side, I would hope that's not done under a funded scheme, but it's pretty sad to see things like that, because this installers clearly thought they need to cut that guttering and waste pipe into the insulation. And I wonder on the right-hand side, with no verge trims on that roof line, how water's going to ingress into that property. Some picture here of properties that have very, very poorly fitted insulation. I don't think it takes a brain surgeon to spot the obvious mistakes, and it certainly gives rise to a non-technical person asking some key questions about residents' properties. And we should all keep each other to account. We should have, and we must have, compliant, competent contractors Like Eco Approach and many others, no doubt, if we're going to give landlords and residents a fighting chance to getting it right. Next slide, please. A very quick recap. Awaab's law, together with a strong collaborative industry, is going to fuel a cultural shift, moving away from tick box compliance in some cases to ensuring there are safe, habitable, and healthy homes. Now, with the advancement of technology, there are a number of options available to landlords and installers to understand what the customers' behaviours and what the environmental behaviours are contributing to damp and mould in their homes. And this is not understanding how to avoid penalties. It's about protecting tenants, landlords, and your asset value. Now, I know at Eco Approach we value productivity. We focus on working with landlords to improve the performance of their housing stock, sure, but more than anything, we want to improve tenants' lives, giving good quality retrofits, more efficient homes, and better lives as a result. So thank you for listening. It's a brief introduction around Awaab's law. It's always an interesting subject, and thanks for listening.